Talk Show is back again, back.
Yes, it's time for you to tune into the Message Talk Show now. The Message Talk Show is going live Thursday, 11 o'clock. It's your show, my show, our show, the Globe Show, the World Show. You need to tune in. Don't miss this show. Don't miss this. Call your friends. Call your enemies. Get a cup of tea. Get a cup of coffee. Get your breakfast. And tune in to the Message Talk Show, Thursday, 11 o'clock. Hey, it's me again. It's man. I just had to come back from that show that I did at 11 o'clock this morning. I just had to come back. After I digested what was said and what we were talking about, how to scale your business with Joel Blake OBE. Man, I just had to come back and talk to you, man, because to wrap this up, because I know I left you hanging there, man. I left you hanging because this was an amazing interview. It was an amazing interview with insight that, man, you don't get every day. And although we projected to how to scale your business now, what Joel started off with and what he finished with is that before you can scale anything that you're working on, before you can scale any vehicle, before you can scale any tool that you're working with, you have to scale yourself. You have to work on your own mindset. You have to reframe your own mind. When you reframe your own mind, you can then work on scaling anything else. But if you don't scale you, you can't scale anything else. Get it? If you don't scale you, you can't scale anything else. Many businesses are unsuccessful not because the business is a bad idea, not because the product is a bad idea. Everything about what they're doing is great, but the guys behind the business have not scaled themselves. And this is what Joel said. He said, you may have started the business, but you may not be the right person to run the business, to grow the business. You started it. You got it going. You got the vision going. You had the enthusiasm. You had everything that you needed to get it on, but you're not the person to run it. And if I can remember back in the 90s, I remember very clearly, this was something that I think Richard Branson understood. He was great at starting, great at putting together, great at entering new markets, and then he put a team in place to take it over and step back. But he was always the brand, he built the brand presence. Yeah, he majored in what he loved and what he did very well and brought a team in to get the idea and get the concept synced and running and making it happen. You may not be the person to run the business, guys. Digest that in your spirit. You've started it, so you need to find a way to scale yourself. When you scale yourself, you then realize what you're good at. And when you've worked on what you're good at, you then put the rest to your team. You build a team around you to get that going. I was just amazed at this morning's interview, and I just thought I needed to come back and talk to you so that you digest this very well. You digest this very well in your spirit as we step into 2021. December is here. We're coming to a close of December 2020, the most amazing year we've ever had. Why I say amazing? We've never seen this year. We've never seen nothing like this before. We have never in my lifetime seen anything like this. So we have lived through a most troublesome, what can I say? trying time of our lives. But the thing is here, we've got to stay alive. We've got to keep each other alive. We've got to look after each other. We've got to protect each other. So wear your mask. So here, let me do the roundup now. Let me do the roundup of what Joel was saying. Joel said, and he finished with these 5 key principles of scaling, 5 key principles. But the one thing that he kept adding, he said, don't give me money because of who I am, the nature of my skin, the color of my skin, and my culture. Don't give me money because of that. Work with me and let me see the value that I add to your business, the value that I bring. And what he was talking about was the value proposition. Most people do not understand the value proposition, what value they're bringing to the table of the idea. When you understand the value and the value that you bring, then the pounds and the dollars and whatever comes follows trick, just flows in after. But you either have to understand the value. So here are the 5 principles that he spoke about. Let me share them with you before we disappear. This is meant to be a short roundup. It's just a roundup of what we were talking about. Number 1, access to leadership. What does he mean by that? Access to the leadership team, the leadership ability, the ability around you to run the business. You need to be able to choose the team, be able to get a team around you, assemble a team around you to make it happen. That's number 1. Number 2, access to talent, the talent pool, and retaining the talent pool. Many people have a lot of people join their business and disappear within 12 months. So you've trained them, you put effort into making it happen, you put effort into getting the right team around you, and then you can't retain them, you can't hold them. So access to the talent pool and retention makes those people feel part of the business, make them feel as though this is something they're seeding into themselves for the future. That's number 2, access to talent. Number 3, access to innovation. Oh, innovation is not about doing the thing better now. It's about doing things innovatively. Innovatively. By innovation, how can technology add value to what you're doing? How can you add more value to how you're delivering the service, to how the service is happening? I look at now the companies that have thrived through the lockdown, companies like Deliveroo, companies who are doing all the delivering for the takeaways and for the supermarkets. All these companies have come about in the last few years, delivering, and suddenly at the cost of what they're doing, they take over for most takeaway shops the whole logistics of running their own delivering system. They take over the whole logistics, and they take the order, come and collect it, and they take the money, and then they give you your share after. How can you add more value? So that's number 3, access to innovation. How can you innovatively do what you're doing to keep your business floating and to scale your business? Number 4, access to markets. Access to markets. So you know your product, you've got a team around you, you've got a talent around you, so you have to understand your markets. Who's your clients, who's your client base? Who's your market you're dealing with? Do you understand their problem? Do you understand their need? Are you responding to that? Does what you have meet the current need? Have you then created demand for your product in that market? Understanding your market. And number 5, because you've done access to leadership, because you've done access to talent, because you've done access to innovation, and because you've then done access to your market, so you understand your market, then you are now gearing yourself up for access to finance. That's amazing. Access to finance. Can you believe that? Because when you go to venture capitals or anyone else for funding, they want to know that you have a business worth looking at. They want to know that it's not just you. They want to know that you've got the talent in there. But they want to know that you've got something that will sustain itself. They want to know that you've got a business that's fully functional. A business just by yourself is not fully functional. But a business with a dynamic team that understands where they're going and how they're going to get there and can produce a P&L, profit and loss balance sheet and cash flow, especially to tell the story. There's a story from where you started, and there's a story to where you're going. If you can tell your story in those 5 steps, you'll get venture capitals into your business. That was what Joel Blake was telling us this morning. And, I was just amazed. I just felt that I needed to come back and show it to you. I needed to come back and tell you about it. So what it was, leadership, access to leadership. Yep. Access to talent. All right, talent. And then when you got talent, you got innovation. How do you do things? And then when you got innovation, you got the markets. And when you got markets, you got the finance. All right. Let me scroll that across the screen. You can walk away with that today. I needed to show you this so you can look at it, see it. It's so important. Leadership, talent, innovation, markets, and finance. These 5 things you need to prepare yourself for. In preparing yourself for that, you need to scale your own mentality. You work on yourself, your personal transformation. Understand your why clearly. Understand why you're doing this, why you're into this, who you are, and why you're doing this. And drive your business forward. How to scale your business, but just not your business. How to scale yourself first before you scale the vehicle by which you're earning, by which you're developing your ideas in the markets. Now, guys, that's all I wanted to say to you today. I just wanted to round that up. Share this video with your friends. Share this video because this is powerful stuff about how to scale. It's important. If you close the year with this one thing alone from us, I just want to digest this and take it home. I'll catch you soon. You know what? I didn't give a word from my sponsor one the last time, so here's a word.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon.
Miss the show. You got to be on this show.